Hey guys, I wanted to make an update video for you. Haven't done one in a little while. And I just want to go over some stuff that's coming up in terms of us reopening, some policies that might be changing soon, some more information about memberships and how those are going to be structured soon, and a little just more information for you guys so everybody can stay updated. Um, so officially, I believe we will be allowed to open on Monday. I California set the guidelines for Friday, but I believe the city can't apply until Friday. At least that's my assumption now. And so hopefully, all things being said, we can officially open Monday, which means some of our policies, for those of you coming currently, are going to change just a little bit. And mostly it's going to be how you enter the facility for the workouts. I'm going to make a whole video on that as we get closer to the opening day. But essentially, you'll be loading in from the front of the building versus through the back, even though you might be walking from the back. And I'll explain that in a future video. Um, Going into memberships, I do want to discuss this just so everybody has a good, clear understanding of what the memberships are currently and what is kind of required moving forward. So, memberships are all currently, for memberships of people going here to classes, are all currently discounted down to $39 a week. And that is good until the end of June, so the end of the month. At that point, you'll have a choice. If you want to keep that discounted rate, you need to commit to a year of membership, and then you'll be able to continue paying at that discounted rate. If you'd rather go on a membership that had no commitment, you can continue to do that as well. It's just a higher rate. So that rate typically has always been, the past several years, $49 a week for a non-commitment rate. And then if after June, for other people who are coming in who want to sign up and commit to a year, they'll sign up at our normal rate, which is $43 a week for a year commitment rate. So basically, essentially, if you're on 39 and you like it and you want to stay here for at least a year, you'll have the option to do that. If not, you can go weekly. It just whatever you makes sense for you. Okay. And if you have questions on that, please let me know, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you. That being said, all memberships are 3 times a week in terms of workout access here. Plus, obviously, we're going to continue making the weekly at-home videos for those of you who want to work out more than 3 times a week, so you have additional things to do while you're at home. And while I would love to offer you everybody more classes, there's just simply no way that we can do that. Both in terms of space limitations and basic economics. There's no possible way right now with social distancing that we can have an unlimited membership. Or if we could, but it would be like, we couldn't actually. It wouldn't even work based on just how we would have to run classes. So I do believe that we're going to be providing more towards our membership than any other place that you can possibly have a membership with. The only possibilities I see otherwise would be places that just ignore safety protocols altogether. And that's just not something we're going to be willing to do. So also, if you have a friend or a family member who wants to get started, who does want a gym to join that is kind of looking for a spot like ours, I would suggest that they join in June rather than wait longer, because one, they're going to get a cheaper rate, and two, at this point this month, I am willing to meet new members one-on-one for personal or semi-personal sessions to go over basic movements, to go over the policies, to go over everything that you need to know, and so to feel comfortable and ready to start with the group classes. In the future, because the classes aren't going to be centrally organized like they were before, they're going to be split into 3 parts. People will have to have done some personal training to prepare for that. They can't just jump off the street into our classes as they are now. And so in the future, people will have to pay for personal training, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 sessions. That's kind of to be determined, but typically the price range of that will range anywhere from $50 to $80 an hour. So again, if you have a friend or a family member who hasn't done this type of training before, wants to get started, June's a great time, because I am willing to meet for free at this point. Last couple more things. So California rules got posted for the gym. basically stating the safety precautions and everything, which we are good to go by. The one interesting one that I thought was California did allow for you to do floor exercises, meaning you don't have to use a yoga mat to do exercises on the ground. I still strongly suggest most of you bring a yoga mat to do stuff on the ground with, because we do not clean the ground between each classes, nor could we. So it's kind of your call. I don't think it's the most dangerous thing in the world, especially outside when it's beating in the sun. However, it's on you. And so if I were you, I would probably bring a yoga mat to most classes if I have one. And so I would strongly just use it to put your hands on the ground, or any kind of floor exercises is a good call. Last few things, putting equipment away. A few people have asked questions about this, and I think it's a good question. And I had to think about it and do some things. There's no rules on this. But what do you do? So you're cleaning the equipment, right? You spray either the towel or the equipment and you wipe it down. Then you have to put it away. Can you put it away with your hands, right? Because you just cleaned it and now you're picking it up again with your hands. I think a good policy for us moving forward is that before you start cleaning and putting equipment away, just do a quick hand sanitizer, make sure your hands are clean, and then that way you don't have to worry about retouching stuff, and like that, it'll be completely fine. So now at this point, I think a good is just clean your hands with hand sanitizer, then start cleaning up all the equipment, and then you have to worry about putting stuff away. Another thing, signing out of classes and making up classes for classes that you missed. So everybody is getting 3 classes a week that you can sign up for. And ideally you need to sign up for one in each of the 3 rooms, because those are going to be the 3 different workouts. If you need to cancel out of a class, you can do so very easily on the app. You just have to sign out of a class. There's a 2-hour window in which you need to sign out of the class prior to be able to cancel it. If you wait 2 hours, you wait until closer than 2 hours before the class, it won't let you cancel it. The reason it's set up like this is because I want you to cancel at least 2 hours before, so that other people who might want that spot can get it and can see at least a few hours in advance if it's going to be available for them to sign up. And if it's not available, then they know they don't have to keep looking, because you're not going to be able to cancel. And so that's why we have that 2-hour window. Now, if you want to sign into a class, you can sign into a class up to the minute the class starts. In fact, you don't even have to sign into a class to go to a class. You could just show up. As long as there's room, I'm not going to turn you down if it's part of your 3 classes. And so if you miss a class and you forget to cancel and you cannot sign up for another class because the membership only allows you to sign up for 3, you can still make up that class by just showing up to it. You can't reserve it, but you can look in advance and see if there's room, and you can just show up for it. That being said, there is some issues with this system that I would like to address. Mainly being, if you are signed up regularly in a popular class and you miss it all the time and you don't cancel out all the time, but you know the other class that you're going to make later is almost never full, so you never cancel out of it anyway, that's an issue. And it's an issue that will come up as we get more and more people coming back to the gym, and I want to make sure we address it right away and create a system that works. And so some places, what they'll do is they'll charge you a rate anywhere from $5 to $10 if you don't sign out of a class that you don't attend. I don't think that's going to be the best way for us to do this, but I think the way I would like us to try and implement is a 3-class miss rule. So if you sign up for 3 classes, at the end of the month, I can look and see if there was at least 3 or more classes that you signed up for and that you did not show up to and you did not cancel out of. Then the first kind of like warning will be that you'll just be signed out of all of the future classes for the next month. So your auto classes will kind of disappear, and you'll have to just re-sign into all of the classes for the next month yourself. And the reason that is because if you're missing a lot of classes, maybe those class times just aren't the best times for you, and maybe you need to individualize your month a little bit more. So that's the first kind of warning kind of deal. Then if you're on that and you're good and you want to get back on the auto stuff, you can just ask, in the following month I'll put you back on an auto schedule. However, if you're on the picking and choosing your own classes and you still miss at least 3 or more classes that you signed up for and didn't cancel out of, then you'll just lose access to be able to sign into any classes for the following month, which means you can still attend all 3 of your classes. You just won't be able to reserve any of them. You'll just have to show up to them when there's openings. Then again, if you're good for if after a month of that, you can go back to self-scheduling, and if you're good with self-scheduling, you can get back into the automatic scheduling. And if that's a little confusing, that's okay. I'll explain it if it's ever an issue for you. But as long as you're signing out of classes and signing into other ones, you're going to be just fine. Last thing I want to say for that is sorry for the regulations, but it's just the only way I can really ensure that everybody gets a good experience and that everybody's going to be allowed to sign up for all of their classes. And I think that's a better system than having to charge you a bunch of fees just because you woke up late and weren't able to make up a class. Okay. Few things I want to address just off the top of my head that I think I might have forgotten is if you're still on remote training, meaning you're not coming to the gym, you're just training at home, but you do want to come to the gym down the road, but you're just not ready yet, you'll still get the offer for that $39 a week rate. That won't disappear for you. It'll just disappear for everybody else. When you're ready to come back to the gym, you'll still be offered that rate as an option for you. Lastly, the last thing I wanted to address is for those of you who are remote, I do realize that the calendar on Trainerize has been a little funky, meaning I haven't been able to put the workouts on your calendar like I had been the previous weeks. The main issue I've been having is a lot of people are going to the gym, some people are doing remote, and so I didn't want to have a remote workout on every single person's calendar, which is the way I have to do it, the way the groups are set up. So in order to get those workouts back on your calendar, if that's the way you would like to see them, I need to create 2 separate groups on Trainerize, one for fully remote and one for group classes. And that way there'll be 2 separate groups and there's going to be 2 separate training programs for those 2 separate groups. Just give me another few days. There's just a lot going on. The workouts are posted every day on Facebook and they're posted every day in the group. You may not be able to say that you did the workout, which I'm aware of. So if you're working with a coach personally on accountability, I know it makes it harder to show that you actually did the workouts. For now, maybe just send a message saying you did it. I just need another week to kind of get things organized in a way that allow me to do that. So sorry for the inconvenience, and I hope everybody is having a good week. It's really hot. I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning soon, and I will see you guys later.